reveal another pot's purpose? Are not all pots subject to the purpose given to them by the potter? This is an interesting question from within this book, which ideally reveals to us the limited capacity we have to define other people's purposes. If I'm a pot and you're a pot and we're all pots, then can a pot define another pot's purpose? Today, I want to tell you that you are more than you have been told. You're more than the circumstances around you say. Today, in our ID Garage session, I am with Mike, and he's going to tell us a few thoughts he has. So let me hand you over to Mike. Mike, tell us, how can you identify your real purpose and identity?
Well, thank you, Felix. Now, who can reveal our identity and purpose? Yeah, I would like to tell you that I know of 3 potential people. One, as we grow up, we go through a lot. So we have teachers and mentors in our lives. So in that regard, a mentor can help us discover our potential and identity, because they get to see us more than we see ourselves, more than our close people see ourselves, because they look at us in a more professional way. The second category is close friends, because we tend to spend much of our lives and time relating with very close friends. A friend can tell you what you're going through, what you are better at. Then the other category that is very important is we ourselves as individuals. The moment we live our lives as people who need to know where we fall, we tend to open our whole hearts, we tend to jump out of the box, and we tend to focus mainly on what we are good and thrive at. So the best person to reveal our identity and potential is us. Just that we need a self-actualization, we need a self-restart. Sometimes it's done by the situations we pass through, and sometimes we tend to grow to learn that our potential is embedded within us, and we need to open ourselves, our minds, out of the 4-cornered boxes. So I would love to think the best person to reveal our identity is us. Yeah, thank you very much, Felix, for the opportunity, and thank you for everything that you're building online. I would pray that it grows to open people's eyes and let them identify their own potential, what they are good at. Yes, thank you very much. I stand as Michael Akera. Thank you, Felix.
Thank you, Mike. And now, just as Mike has said, you are closer to identifying yourself, to discovering yourself, if you are surrounded by good mentors, very good close friends, and also when you, as an individual, you take the responsibility to search and discover yourself. Otherwise, if you've grown up in an environment that is toxic, you're surrounded by bad friends, you're surrounded by people who hate you, then chances are high you won't discover yourself quickly. Yeah, that's a poisonous environment. And that ideally sets the difference we have in society. When you look at some people who turn out to be more successful than others, it's because they've had totally different teachers. The background has raised them up totally differently. Yeah. So this brings us to the critical point, the critical thought, that we have to take responsibility and take note of the bad teachers that could have led us to where we are today, yeah, and begin to think of how to break out. Neville Goddard says, your belief in masters is a confession of your slavery. Only slaves have masters. Change your conception of yourself and you will, without the aid of masters or anyone else, automatically transform your world to conform to your changed perception of yourself. We also learn that Dr. Miles Monroe, in one of his teachings, says, "That is the culture that rules your life." I had to break free from that culture. I had to break away even from the exams they gave me in school. I don't accept any grade they give me in school. I told the teacher one day that your A cannot calculate my intelligence. Those were the thoughts of Miles on this. It might surprise you, but we have not seen the real you yet. Your real self, we haven't seen you yet. Why? Let me give you a very good scenario here that can bring out this point well. You know, you're like gold smeared with feces or mud. Okay? You consider gold. Being gold, if you smear gold with feces or mud, does it stop being gold? No. It is still gold, except that it's smeared with feces and mud. So you find that there's this value in you have. Yeah, this value that was handed down to you by the Creator. Yeah, but because you've gone through the hands of bad teachers, they've smeared your identity with feces and mud. And now you look at the feces, you look at the mud, and you say to yourself, I am feces. You say to yourself, I am mud. Okay, but that's not real you. The real you is still hidden inside there, and we haven't seen that gold in you yet. Okay, and that's what we yearn to see. You know, gold remains gold, even when smeared with feces. And when you wash away the feces, when you wash away the mud, you find gold. Now that's the gold each one of us has, and that gold is our identity, and that's what we need to discover and present to the world. Brian Tracy says the potential of the average person is like a huge ocean unsailed, a new continent unexplored, a world of possibilities waiting to be released and channeled towards some great good. To fully understand your potential, what you could do, your capacity, consider your source. Trace back your source. You know, they say that when I have rock and I break it down into pieces, the product is rock. As I continue to break it down, it still remains rock. Okay? Similarly, if I have gold and I break gold to pieces, it remains gold. Even when I continue to break it to smaller and smaller pieces, it still remains gold. Lastly, consider water. Okay? If I fetch water from a lake in a bucket, it remains water. If I subdivide into containers, it's still water. And I subdivide into spoons, it still remains water. So you see, it's water all through from top to bottom. Okay? Now consider yourself. Trace your source. Okay? Well, we have the human body that is given birth to by our parents. Okay, but also we know that we do have spirit. We are spirit beings. Okay, and why? It's because when you trace back to our source, which is God. God is spirit. Okay, and just like in the last session we learned that a child of a rat is a rat. Okay, so since God is spirit and He made us out of Himself, we are also spirit beings. Okay, so spirit splits into spirit, into spirit, into spirit. Okay, and consider the image of God. Since God is powerful, He's God. Okay, and we also learn from several sources that we are gods. Okay, our Father is God, and we are gods. Okay, and we are made in the image of God, in His likeness. So we operate like Him. Okay, and we also have His characteristics. Okay, so there's this power that is hidden in us, and we are hardly taught about it. School doesn't teach us about it. Okay, but it still remains. That potential, that hidden treasure still remains in us. Okay, and many have died without bringing it out, but we could choose to be different. Okay, So let's not settle for less. Okay. In the next episode, continuing forward, we shall be talking more and more and more about this subject matter. Okay, we shall be discussing more and more because we want to quit settling for the less. We want to explore heights. We want to discover the treasure in us. We want to present the best of us. We want to bring out that hidden treasure in us, okay, and bless the world. I don't know about you, but personally, I am on this journey, and it's a journey that I'm willing to continue with, continue digging and thinking and trying out, okay, so that I ultimately add value in this world. You know, that's our legacy, okay? We don't have to only read history, but we have to make history. So, I am Felix. I remain Felix. Thank you very much for listening today. Please feel free to share comments, share your thoughts. Okay, let's discuss this. Let's talk about it, and see you in the next episode. Bye.